And I love sharing these New York City stories with you on Broadway, with Straz Center. It was so exciting. And so I want to get right into it. I want to talk about Outsiders, the Outsiders Broadway musical, of course.
Yes.
So you have not read, this girl hasn't read the Outsiders book or seen the Outsiders movie. Did you skip 7th grade? Are you so smart? You just said, I'm not going to 7th grade? I thought everybody had to do that.
No, we never did.
Okay.
Never read the book, and therefore never seen the movie. I am aware of the movie. I am aware of the Broadway play. I should say Broadway hit right now. But no, I have a lot that I'm not offering to this conversation.
So, no, you are. And I'm glad we're talking about this because I was actually trying to think of people like you when I was doing this interview.
Oh, okay.
Because you've got to experience this play from two drastically different perspectives. Those of us who have read the book and have seen the movie, that was very impactful for me. I'll tell you why in a moment. And then those of us who have not seen it because it's just a fresh new story to you.
Absolutely.
So first of all, the movie, which again, saw it in 7th grade after you read the book, that was kind of how it goes. The movie is so remarkable, Natalie, because it was directed by Frances Ford Coppola.
Oh, okay.
And he selected this cast of no-name boys. The adaptation of the book by Hinton, she wrote it when it was written by a female about gangs of boys who didn't get along, this coming-of-age story written through the viewpoint of Ponyboy Curtis, a 14-year-old boy. And his famous line, I messed it up in the open, but it's stay gold, Ponyboy, not stay golden. But anyhow, this movie was so remarkable because this cast was just a few names you might know. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio. Let me back up. Tom Cruise, before he got his teeth fixed, before he was a known person at all, nobody knew of Matt Dillon, nobody knew of Ralph Macchio. This is pre-Karate Kid. Patrick Swayze, unknown. Who am I forgetting? Diane Lane, she's been in a lot of great movies. She's a great actress. And C. Thomas Howell, and Rob Lowe.
I knew the cast was unbelievable, but again, I've never seen it.
The cast, though, the crazy thing is, nobody knew any of these people. Can you imagine all the success that that movie launched for them? Like the kiss of the Outsiders. Amazing. So I have all these characters ingrained in me from seeing them in the movie. It's really neat to see it come to life on stage with this whole new crop of young, talented actors. And it was so great to talk to the director. I'm going to tell you about her on the other side, but you get to know the director, Danya Taymor. We are hanging out in New York City, just got a chance to see The Outsiders. It was amazing, and it's an honor to sit with Danya Taymor. She is the Tony Award-winning director of The Outsiders. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, Danya, I have to start with, how is it that you find yourself here? How is it that, what are some of the turning points in your life that have led you to this point?
Oh my goodness. Well, I started out directing new plays and working with living writers, and Adam Rapp, who wrote the book of The Outsiders and is a Pulitzer Prize finalist, playwright himself, he saw a play that I had directed on Broadway called Passover, and it was actually the first play back after COVID on Broadway. It was also about young men, and he asked me afterwards if I would ever consider directing a musical. And I said, maybe. And he sent me The Outsiders, and he told me that he couldn't get through the material without crying, that he loved the music so much, and that really compelled me. And so I spent time with that material, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this job.
That's great, and I love that you dove into it, even though it was your first musical. You're like, I have to do this. Speaking of that passion, that fervor, I love to see that in the audience.
Me too.
So it's great when you see everyone waiting outside to get the actors' autographs and just all the excitement and the variety of people, especially the younger audience. So if you can speak to the audience, and then also, you know, what your predictions are in terms of how it'll be received in Tampa.
Certainly. So The Outsiders is this extremely physical, kinetic, vibrant show with a lot of intensity of emotion. The performers are all exquisite, and they're all doing something that is, you can't see it on your couch watching Netflix. Like, you have to come to a theater to see it. And I think that this story, what Hinton wrote, and also what the movie did, what Coppola's movie did, is ignited the imaginations of young people. And I think that we're seeing that on Broadway. And so the atmosphere in the audience is just super alive with a bunch of strangers all experiencing something together. And I think that when it comes to Tampa and when it starts its tour, we're going to see something similar. This is a book that means so much to so many people, and a story that means so much to them, that I can't wait to see how it lands in these places.
Speaking of the book, written by a young woman, Essie Hinton, and directed by a young woman. And so I love that we've got the juxtaposition of a very male story with the violence and some male themes, and then you bring that heart as a woman directing it. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you bring to it?
Certainly. So Susie Hinton wrote this book when she was 16 because she looked at the world around her and she thought, this is unfair, this isn't right. She could write with so much compassion about these young men because she could see them in this multifaceted way that maybe they couldn't see themselves. I grew up with older brothers, and seeing them and their friends and just seeing them, try to move through the world with all of the expectations the world has of them.
What are the moments that you're most proud of within the production aspects or scenes? I mean, the Rumble scene, you watch it in the audience and the effects, you're like, wow, how the vision that you had was amazing.
Thank you. I think the Rumble is definitely something I'm so proud of because it's not only visually spectacular, it's emotionally spectacular. We go through so many different feelings while we're watching it. But it's some of the quiet moments that I feel so proud of as well.
We talk about these bonds themes in terms of friendship bonds, familial bonds, and then also there are themes of violence. And I was reading about something you experienced at that, during your formative years.
Sure.
Can you share that story with us and how you sort of worked from that lens?
Yes, you're talking about my friend? Yeah, so when I was 13, about to turn 14, one of my closest friends committed suicide, and it was so shocking to me, and I'd never experienced a loss like that, especially not somebody my own age. And I think about that so much with Ponyboy, who through the course of the story experiences these two big losses. And he's also just lost his parents. And I think that we want to protect young people from death and loss and pain, but we can't because we all move through it. And I think having gone through it myself, I wondered, what could have helped me at that time? If I had seen somebody else go through this, could I have seen I'm not so alone?
That's a good message. And what about for the tour? What can you share with us? Any direction you want to go in terms of what we can expect to see in Tampa? Anything,
Sure.
difficulties or as far as working in a different theater?
We're really excited. We're going to bring all the elements on tour, so the Rumble will be wet and muddy. And I'm so excited about this new cast. It's a new group of people who are going to be telling the story. There's going to be so much energy and excitement in them.
That's great. And final question for you. So many people have experienced The Outsiders reading the book or watching the movie. And so what's your message to them in terms of the excitement of what they're going to be able to get and take and enjoy from this way of experiencing the story through your musical?
Sure. I think that what Broadway has taught us is that if you love the book and you love the movie, you will most likely love the musical too, because it keeps the same essence as those things. But it makes very visceral and alive this thing that has existed in other mediums. And it's a complement to those things. It's not a recreation and it's not meant to compete. It's another offering inside of the same story. And if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, you also don't need to. It kind of stands alone as its own story.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to The Outsiders coming to Tampa end of the year, end of December, and congratulations on all the success you've had so far and look forward to following you the rest of your career.
Thank you so much.
I was just about to tell you off air if you heard my mic.
Great conversation.
I was going to say that, and I'll share with you too. Sharp young woman. I mean, she graduated from Duke. She just had it together. So nice, so lovely to talk with. And she has it in her blood because her aunt is Julie Taymor, who was the Tony Award-winning director for The Lion King. She brought The Lion King to life, the stage adaptation. And so she was the first woman to win a Tony for directing a musical, and now her niece obviously following in her footsteps.
Great conversation right
Thank you.
there. I will
Thank
say,
you.
just to get to know her and get to know the story a little bit more. And if people, she even brought up, people know the book, but just that Rumble scene that I was able to get highlights of, that looks amazing with the rain, and you can feel the emotion then through that. But then to weave music in, what was it like for you, the experience?
That's interesting because there is so much music that comes from this that people are hooked on now, like the song Great Expectations. So it is really well done music, but it is strange because it's a juxtaposition of like the violence, the gang violence between the Socs and the Greasers, and then you see that the music softens it. So that's a good observation. You know who else is involved with this project? Angelina Jolie.
Oh, really?
So her daughter Vivian brought it to her mom's attention because she's working in theater. She's behind the scenes. So Angelina Jolie has put her name, her money behind it as well. So that's a little extra, something. But she's, it's really good. And I feel like you have a little assignment.
I think I do. I think I do. But you know what? Everybody in the Tampa Bay area gets to enjoy it, right?
Yes.
We all get to go, of course, and enjoy The Outsiders at Straz Center for the Performing Arts. There are the dates. Hey, during New Year's. I love that.
There you go. So plenty of time for you to read the book before then.
Oh, so you're saying I should read the book before then?
Yes.
Or what about see the movie?
I say do both. I just want you to be, she
thinks that I can get to a lot. You should see my to-do list as it is. But I love my to-do list.
Fit that in somewhere. Yes, you do. You just
love
add
mine.
it to that.